Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Evangelical Alliance Ireland. I'm Nick Park, and this week I'm sharing some lessons from the Crimean War, that war that took place in the 19th century when the British and the French and the Turks, and then joined by the Italians and the Poles, fought against Russia. And yesterday we were talking about the power of good communication and about the charge of the Light Brigade. But another reason why the Crimean War became famous was because of Florence Nightingale, the lady with the lamp who ended up appearing on British banknotes and basically revolutionized modern nursing. That Florence Nightingale was primarily, more than any other person, responsible for nursing to become a respected profession for people, particularly women, to enter. Before the Crimean War, there were nurses, but nurses in hospitals were basically just dog bodies. They didn't do any real medical care. They were just there to change sheets and bedpans and stuff and mop floors. And the nurses, to be honest, were generally people uneducated, ignorant, foul-mouthed, drunken, and really just contributed to the dreadful state of hospitals at that time. But Florence Nightingale was a woman from a well-to-do background who realized that there was this great need for something to take place out on the battlefield. And the conditions were really serious. To give you an idea, there were 21,000 British soldiers died in the Crimean War. Out of those 21,000, only 5,000 actually died from their wounds. 16,000 died from sickness. So out of the 21,000 deaths, British deaths in the total war, out of 21,000, 16,000 were caused by illness. And that was because of the great insanitary conditions that was taking place and the poor medical care and poor nursing. And Florence Nightingale went and basically revolutionized that. She was a committed Christian. She was doing this out of her Christian convictions and Christian compassion. That was a very important part of what she was doing. But it wasn't just that. She was also seeking fulfillment for what was God's plan for her life. Because Florence Nightingale came from a very upper class family, very respectable, and the plan was that she would marry a well-to-do man, a rich man, a member of the nobility, and would have children and everything else. And that, for most women at that time, was viewed as fulfillment. But Florence Nightingale knew that God had something better than that for her life. And so she fought for the opportunity to be able to go and work in nursing and take charge of the nursing of the soldiers in the Crimean War. Almost unheard of at that time for a woman in British society to take such a lead and do such a thing. But she did it. So yes, her Christian convictions, her Christian values and experience were vitally important, but they were also joined together with her fulfilling God's purpose for her life. You see, there are a lot of people who have good values, people who are sincere Christians, people who are born again by faith and love Jesus and follow Jesus, but never get hold of the plan that God has for their lives. And therefore, they do not fulfill their potential, and they do not make the difference in the world that they could. Florence Nightingale changed the world in which she lived. She changed the world for many soldiers who lived when they would otherwise have died in insanitary hospitals. She changed the world in the whole field of nursing and made nursing as we see it today possible. She really made modern nursing practice possible. She helped people to understand the importance of cleanliness and in fighting disease and avoiding wounds becoming infected. And she also became extremely important in helping women to know that they had a role to play in society and life. Why did all this happen? Because one woman who had strong Christian faith, strong Christian convictions, understood that God had more for her life than people told her she was capable of, and she went out and she fulfilled the will of God for her life. And I pray that today you will get a hold of what God has for your life, and you will make a difference in Jesus' name. God bless you today, and join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Evangelical Alliance Ireland.